Joining us now, the new chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna Romney McDaniel, traveling in the Midwest on behalf of the president's massive, magnificent, all-encompassing tax cut, tax reduction, tax reform plan, bigger than Jack Kennedy's in 61, bigger than Reagan's in 86. Joining us now, the new chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna Romney McDaniel. Chairwoman McDaniel, good to have you with us.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, we understand you're flying around the Midwest on behalf of the president's tax reform plan. So you're calling us today from where?
Well, actually, today I'm in Michigan, but I've been in Pennsylvania, Illinois, and I was in Wisconsin yesterday.
Fantastic. We appreciate your going around. Look, I can't even hide my excitement for this tax plan. This thing is so massive. And if we can get this done, Chairwoman McDaniel, it is going to give us a shot in the arm like you can't believe. We're going to be able to get 3.5 at minimum sustained economic growth over a period of time, grow our way out of the deficit. It'll add over $1 trillion in increased revenue. It can create up to 3 million jobs. It can increase wages by $7 trillion. I mean, all these numbers are stunning. However, I just got to ask you this straight out. We couldn't get repeal and replace done. It just failed again the other day. Republicans have a majority in both houses. What is going to stop this thing from stalling in the U.S. Senate again?
Well, I was actually with the vice president last night, and he was asked this exact same question. So I'm going to paraphrase what he said, which is, this is different because they have worked within the committees with Senator McConnell, with Speaker Ryan throughout this whole process. There's been input from the Senate and the House. They feel very strongly that everyone's input is on the table, and that we're going to go back to the Senate and the House and get this passed because we have to. Our economy needs a kickstart. We've had anemic growth under President Obama, and we know why. We've been stifled through overtaxation and overregulation. We've taken care of the deregulation piece. President Trump's put more regulations than any other president. Now we need to get tax reform, let people keep more of their money, let businesses lower their corporate tax rate so they can be competitive and bring jobs and wages to this country. And let's get this economy humming again. It's going to lift everybody's lives.
Okay, so right away, the Democrats, Chairwoman McDaniel, opening up the old playbook, and their mantra just started as soon as this thing was unveiled. They're saying this is a tax cut for the rich. It's only to help Trump and his friends. Schools will close and people will die. How do you respond to that?
Well, this is not a tax cut for the rich. This is a middle-class tax cut. In fact, many of the loopholes that the wealthy Americans have been using to avoid taxes are going away. It is taking away their loopholes, and the focus is on middle-class families so that they can keep more of their hard-earned dollars and invest them in ways that benefit their families. We need this. 73% of Americans agree that we need tax reform. Democrats need to get on board and support Americans keeping more of their money and creating more jobs in this country by corporations having more competitive tax rates. I don't understand why Democrats are fighting against something that's going to help every American across this country.
It doesn't make any sense, but look, they are going to fight it because they fight everything. No question about it. I want to get to the repatriation piece of this, and so that everybody understands, because they kind of throw this term out, you don't know what it means. There is anywhere from $2.5 to $5 trillion overseas. Now, what this means is if we have a United States company that is operating overseas, let's say they're operating in Germany, all right, and they make a profit in Germany, they have to pay German taxes, right? So then they have, let's say they make $100 million there. In order to bring that money back into the United States, they have to pay another 35% just to bring it in. Well, they're not going to do that. It's stupid. They're simply not going to pay the tax. So the money stays in Germany or somewhere else. Under the Trump tax plan, what Trump is saying is, look, if you make the money in the United States within our shores, then you will pay United States corporate taxes. But if you made the money in Ireland or the United Kingdom or North Africa or wherever, in Asia, Vietnam, whatever, then you can take the money back into the United States. You've already paid their taxes. You take it back into the United States. There is no tax because we want the cash to come into the U.S. to spur jobs, spur investment, etc. You look at this tax package and you look at all the pieces of it, it's got the potential to explode our economic growth beyond what we've seen. Now, answer this. Democrats are also saying all of a sudden they found something the matter with a $20 trillion debt. Didn't matter up until now. Now all of a sudden they're saying, well, it's not revenue neutral. The debt will go up. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Democrats right now complain about the debt. They certainly haven't been concerned about that as President Obama doubled and tripled it. This tax plan, cutting these taxes and making our country globally competitive. Right now, our corporate tax rates are among the highest. We are not competing globally across our world. And think about that. When a business is saying, do I set up a business here in Ireland who has, a 15 to 20% tax rate, or do I come to the United States with a 35% tax rate? Of course they're going to set up shop there. And then we've disincented them from bringing their money back to the United States. We have to get this done. And I just want to add, President Trump has done such a great job improving our economic conditions in this country. And it's come through four things: deregulation, energy independence, better trade deals, and then now tax reform. And if we can get this done, it will lift our economy to a place that we haven't seen, and we can do better. And that's what Republicans have always said. Obama always said 1 to 2% growth is the best we'll ever get. And President Trump came in and said, no, it is not. We do not need to settle. We can do better in this country. And this tax reform will unleash our potential and help raise jobs, wages, let people keep more of their money, and have companies invest in our country.
Well, I can just say that this is so exciting, Chairwoman McDaniel, and we appreciate your flying around the United States and getting people to understand this and getting fired up. Now, the risk that you have is if Republican senators in the U.S. Senate end up watering this down, not going with it, combining with the Democrats or something else, I mean, there's going to be upheaval like you've never seen. I can just tell you that straight out. If you look at Alabama, it's going to be Alabama on steroids. So we've got to get this done. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do that. I want to get to football, NFL. I know you're a football fan. Your family is. What do you make of this whole thing, kneeling for the national anthem?
I so stand with the president on what he has done, calling for people to stand for our flag and our anthem. And think about the president and what he has to deal with every day. This is our commander-in-chief. He is the one who has to make decisions as he puts men and women in harm's way. He is the one who greets the flag-draped coffins when they return back to our country. I can't think of anybody more suited to say we need to stand for our flag and our anthem. And yes, people have the right to protest and they have the right to free speech, but we also have the right to say to them, you're choosing the wrong venue. You should not be protesting our flag or our anthem. Do it in a different way, a more positive way, not something that divides and degrades our military and our country, because we live in the greatest country. So I love football. I was glad to see the Packers stand up last night. I think we're going to see more of that. This is not the right venue, and it's not the right thing to do to protest our flag, our anthem, especially when we have people serving overseas to save our freedoms and protect this nation.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes. I know you have to take off. We're with the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna Romney McDaniel from Michigan. She was the chair there and a very early supporter of President Trump and part of his victory in winning Michigan. Chairwoman McDaniel, how have they adjusted to being in Washington?
Actually, my family still lives in Michigan. I go back and forth. I'm on the road so much that we decide to keep them with their friends and near family.
Makes sense.
And I don't want them to be Washingtonized. I like them to stay Midwest.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, I just got to get to this, though. So you're in Michigan. Do you follow the Lions? Lions fan?
Of course we follow the Lions.
So you're a Lions fan. And you're a Tigers fan, right?
Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, and
Okay.
U of M football.
Okay, well, sorry about the Tigers. I'm a lifelong Astros fan. Thank you for giving us Justin Verlander.
My
Thank
son
you.
cried when we woke up the next day and he goes, "Mom, Verlander went to the Houston Astros," and he was just devastated.
You know, I've been there when I was very young, and the Astros traded away Rusty Staub to, I think, Montreal. I did the same thing. I cried, so I get it. But tell your son you talked to a radio guy who's a big Astros fan, and he wanted to say thank you very much for giving us Justin Verlander, because this is the reason the Astros are going to win their first World Series ever with Justin Verlander. So tell your son thank you very much. He might have cried, but tell him that we're very happy in Astroland. Thank you very much.
Well, I will tell him, and we wish Verlander well. He was so wonderful to the Detroit Tigers. He is a true talent, and good luck to the Houston Astros from a very gracious Detroit Tigers fan.
Well, we appreciate it. And you also fired the manager who was an Astro.
Brad Osmus.
Yeah,
Yep, they let him go.
I know.
You know, he was a short-lived manager. He didn't take advantage of the talent we had with J.D. Martinez and Upton and Verlander, and we had a strong team, and now we're in a rebuilding period for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, you know, Asmus was the Astros catcher for some time. He just, you know, some people, they just can't make the transition over. But tell your son, you know, we gave you J.D. Martinez for virtually nothing, right? We gave you him. So, you know,
I know.
You got to take the good with the bad. We gave you Martinez. We got Verlander. It's all good, Ronna. Thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your hard work.
Thanks for having me, John.
All right, we're out of time. I want to thank Ronna Romney McDaniel, the new chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. She's infused the RNC with enthusiasm and energy.